So a common mistake that we see during the divorce process is a party simply just waiting too long to file. Waiting too long can cost you in the long run for several reasons. For example, while divorce is hard, there's a lot of emotional factors at play. If, for example, you're the breadwinner and you are purchasing assets or accumulating wealth, or for example, you have an annuity through your job, things are accruing. So you will likely have to end up paying more to your spouse in a divorce if you wait too long to file. It's important to, when you realize that this marriage likely isn't going to last and you're ready, to file as soon as and quickly as you can in order to protect yourself financially. Another common mistake that we often see here is not filing for a alimony or child support modification as soon as the circumstances change. For example, it's often that something happens in life, such as a job change or a relocation, that prevents one party from following the original order as intended. For example, perhaps mom or dad got a new girlfriend and is spending more time with them, or got a new job and is spending more time at work, and the child is now primarily spending time with the other parent, which is different than what the original agreement stipulated and how the original agreement in child support was calculated. If that child is now spending more time at your house, you should not have to pay that same amount of child support because you're spending more on that child. You can contact the court and you can contact an attorney to help you file an order that will reduce that liability that you have to pay in order to make things more fair and equitable to you. One of the biggest mistakes that parties entering a marriage can make is not having a plan or a prenuptial agreement. The prenuptial agreement is something that will provide both parties clarity, will open lines of communication, and will protect parties from what might occur in the event of a divorce. It is to streamline topics, it's to make sure everything is clear, and it actually is a way of fostering healthy financial communication between the parties. So another mistake that we see in family law is when one party could really benefit from a restraining order. And this is kind of the worst case scenario. If your former partner or your former spouse or your current spouse, if you're still legally married, is harassing you, is making you lose peace of mind, is going to your job, is causing you humiliation and embarrassment, is being verbally abusive, is berating you through text messages, you don't have to endure it. You don't have to go through it alone. A competent attorney can get you a restraining order. The court will consider whether or not a restraining order is needed in order to protect you and your belongings. It can afford you peace of mind. A restraining order can always be dissolved later on if your former partner demonstrates that it's no longer necessary or things have improved. However, sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's necessary to start the healing process. Additionally, sometimes parties will use a restraining order or a threat of a restraining order in order to gain unfair advantages in a divorce or litigation. If you believe you've been wrongly accused and a restraining order should not be entered against you, moreover, if you strongly need a restraining order and you just have been too afraid to do it on your own, Next Chapter Family Law is here to help you